What is up, Jake?
Hey, what's going on?
We got Vixter, we got Rocky, we got Lynn, we got Dolly. Hey, how's it going?
All right, what's going on, everybody, man? Yeah, you guys caught me sharing this out, so I'm just going to finish that. Hope everybody is doing good. Make sure you guys share this out. Is my mic working? We're live here or what?
Yes, mic is on.
All right, awesome, man. So real quick, as I always say, if you're watching on Periscope, please go over to YouTube and subscribe over there. I know I keep saying this, but it's only a matter of time before they shut us down on Twitter and Periscope. My name is Jake. That is my man, Rich, holding it down on the controls back there. And he has all the knowledge and I have all the stupid jokes. So what is going on, Rich?
Man, it has been a very, very, very damp day today. Obviously, Sally making her way through the state, and we didn't get air towards the Charlotte area where I'm at. We didn't get too much of the rain, not the torrential downpours. We didn't get much of the flooding, which is good. But yeah, it made for a good day to stay in. Yeah,
I'm glad you brought that up. Prayers to those people affected by the hurricanes, man. It's just it's out of control, and just knowing that it's President Trump's fault, that just really kills me because I voted for him, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, there was no hurricanes until he was elected. And,
never
before, right?
No.
I mean, and there wasn't even, such thing as a hurricane. So it's just, it's amazing that Trump has that kind of power to bring on hurricanes. I mean, these people are clowns, but prayers to the people affected. And if anybody needs any help over there, let us know. You can reach me, JustJake357 on Twitter, and Rich at 1600 Reasons Why on Twitter. And all right, what do we got, Rich, man? What do we got?
Not too much. First off, shout out to Claire. How you doing, Claire? And I don't know, what do we got? Well, first we have Kamala Harris, obviously, or Kamala, however you want to pronounce it. Yeah, she's claiming the presidency already, even before they admit Joe into the home. I thought that was kind of a little pretentious of her. Thought it was a little bit early. I got a clip of it, so I'm sure everybody has seen this clip, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to show it anyway so everybody can check it out.
Make sure you have a president in the White House who actually sees you, who understands your needs, who understands the dignity of your work, and who has your back. A Harris administration together with Joe Biden.
There it was, the Harris administration. Man,
it's just frightening. Can you imagine?
And everybody says it, and everybody knows it, and obviously she's been dreaming about it, which is why she had that Freudian slip thing going on there. So yeah.
Wow. Somebody wrote me, "Wake up, Jake." Harper, 18 minutes ago. They're like, "Wake up, man! Where are you?"
Oh,
late.
No, it was me. This time, it was on me. I was trying to get a couple stories finished up. Got a late start on it. And Lynn, thanks, super harsh. Yeah, appreciate that. Yeah, so the other thing is I loved, this was my clip of the week. I just loved it because, and we debated this, Jake, as to whether or not Cramer actually made a Freudian slip or whether or not he meant it. And that was with the Pelosi thing where he just, he calls her crazy.
Secretary Mnuchin, I mean, what deal can we have, Crazy Nancy? I'm sorry, that was the president. I have such reverence for the office, I would never use that term. But it is
but you
hard,
just did.
Oh, come on.
But you just did.
You know.
When the stock was tanking, stock industries, right?
Yeah, and just so you know, they actually just saw that clip there, Jake. So, but
they already seen it. Okay.
Yeah, he's every morning CNBC, wild and crazy guy. He's got a fund that he manages, and called her crazy, and she was a little upset about it. I don't think that he was kidding. I've seen him so many times when he's kidding. Jake, he's watched him numerous times too. He thought that it was planned. I think if it was planned, it was poorly played off. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I thought, but you bring up a good point. I thought he was like just being funny, and just a bad joke or whatever, which I think he apologized. He caved to Nancy Pelosi. I love her expression. Like, did he really just say that?
Yeah.
And obviously he caved because they probably said, we're going to fire you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she tried to keep that cheesy smile on her face, but inside she's got to be thinking, he just called me crazy. He just called me crazy. Yeah, it was awesome. It was. And
then President Trump tweeted out, no, don't apologize. You were right. I don't know if you've seen that. He retweeted about it.
Yeah. He was right. So tell me a little bit more now. The funny thing is, guys, if you're here, like when we're like pre-talking before the show, we got talking, which is one of the reasons we were late too. And I was like, dude, we should put on the show. So Christopher Wray,
right.
Tell us about it. Cause you were tracking that all day long, weren't you?
Oh yeah, I started to do like real-time tweeting while I was watching Christopher Wray speak, and the first thing he did was piss me off about pretty much using the Democrats' talking point that Antifa isn't a group, isn't an organized group. It's just more of a mindset and a movement, he says. And I'm like, no, it's a terrorist organization. Yep. Anybody with half a brain, anybody that's been watching this show knows it's organized. Through riot ribs, allegedly getting money. And then, once they got moved out of the park over there in Portland, it looked like they stopped the protesters. So here's my point. For anybody that thinks this is not organized, their chants are organized, the snack vans are. So you have, 1,000 people or, 500 people protesting, and then the next day, none.
Right.
You know what I mean? It doesn't happen that way. If you have 1,000 protesters / rioters one day, you might have 800 the next day, then kind of 500 the day after that, maybe 300, then 200. Then you'll have like 20 people that are just like, where'd everybody go the next day? It just doesn't go from 1,000 rioters to stop. That means they pulled the plug, like, hold on. They did the polls. This is backfiring. This is actually helping Trump. Let's pull the plug on it. Funding is stopped, and they just didn't show up. I mean, if you can't see that, I really don't know what to say,
Yeah, the plane tickets, the amount of people that have had past prison sentences, the fact that they're well equipped. Yeah, if anybody actually believes it. I thought it was funny. Did you see that guy? His name's Mike Isaacson. And this is the dude that Tucker Carlson had interviewed, and they pulled back up an interview from this guy back from 2017. And this guy is at John Jay Law School, and he made some comments. I'll pull it up real quick here. First, I'll play. Well, first, let me tell you, this is the guy right here, Professor Antifa activist, who said it's a privilege to teach future dead cops. Now, this guy was not teaching illegal stuff. He was actually teaching the economics course that's up there. But here's his quote. Some of y'all might think it sucks being an anti-fascist teacher at John Jay College, but I think it's a privilege to teach future dead cops. And then here was another quote he had in 2017 off the pigs. And here's this little sick basher. Now this was off a police website that tracks this kind of stuff, and they were showing this guy's into waterboarding, choking, smothering, group sex. Anyway, the guy's he's a total freak, is what he is. But just so you see a little bit of the episode, Here it is.
And oppose him.
But it's not opposition. You shut people down, you prevent them from speaking, and you commit violence against them. I know a number of people, well, don't tell me it's untrue. I know people who have been knocked down and beaten by people from Antifa. So that is true. It does happen. We have it on tape. We just roll the tape.
Right.
So you're saying, is that justified?
Yes. I believe that communities have the right to defend themselves against threats to their community.
Against ideas they don't like.
No,
they have a right to commit
against
violence.
People who have explicitly said that they want to eliminate those people from our society.
But you're conflating violence with ideas.
No,
if I have
I'm
not raised my hand to strike you, you have no right to strike me.
But in order to raise your hand to strike me, you have to think that you're going to strike me.
That was the most disturbing thing, that comment that he just made. They're going ahead and justifying their violence because they are saying, in order for you to strike me, you had to have thought about it. So they're not responding to any violence against them. They're just simply saying, well, you were probably thinking about it, so we're going to hit you. And what community? These people are not from the community. What was the stats? Kenosha arrest, 175. 102 of the people had addresses outside of the city, coming from 44 cities. So yeah, don't give me in our communities.
Macias is saying, hey y'all, having terrible storms here in South Carolina. It's messing reception, but I'm trying. Well, welcome and be safe. Prayers to you guys. Yeah, this whole anti-cop thing, if you remember, this is what de Blasio and Obama were doing when they started slaughtering cops. And if you remember that one guy that opened fire on the cops in Dallas, I don't know if you remember that. Yep. I mean, the blood is on their hands. Absolutely. Now, obviously, the person pulling the trigger is responsible. But when you have this anti-cop rhetoric and you see it on commercials and you see it on football and you see it by the politicians on the left and, and even the weak Republicans not standing up and saying this is a disgrace. There was actually a sheriff in Georgia. Somebody sent me and said, this is my sheriff, who was saying enough is enough. I don't know if we have that clip. No, right?
No, we don't. Right. We don't have that clip.
All right. I need you to fire that production guy.
Gone.
All right.
Correct. Go ahead.
You're fired. So, yeah, he was like, enough is enough. We had a drive-by shooting on my offices. Thankfully, they weren't hit. This is what this rhetoric is leading, to cops getting shot. It's really sick, man. So once again, we back the blue 100% here. If there's a bad cop and he does something wrong, then he needs to be held accountable, and good cops need to call him out. But it's so minute compared to, black on black crime and other crime. And, this false narrative is getting cops killed. Not only that, you're causing them to quit. Yep. And crime's going up through the roof.
It is. Absolutely. And, people like LeBron, and I know I talked to him because he's a sports figure. A lot of these people, they track him. But, it's his kind of rhetoric. I know that you had the black man in Georgia stabbed a white guy, even made the comment, I just felt like I needed to go out and find a white guy and stab him today. And then you had down in Baltimore, you had a black guy that smashed his guy's head with a brick. The white dude, and he's just walking down the street minding his own business. I mean, just a guy. And so, yeah, it's that kind of rhetoric, and I like that. But I like Candace Owens. Not only did that sheriff go ahead and put out that challenge to LeBron and say, hey, why don't you go ahead and double the reward money so we can catch the guy who tried to assassinate those cops?
It'll never happen. He could care less.
No, you know what? But, after Candace destroyed Cardi B, when she got done wiping Cardi B off her shoes, she was talking about the fact that LeBron always talks about the rough life that he has as a black man, how he feels hunted when he steps out the door. And she's like, $100 million mansion in Bel Air. He's got a white gardener, a white chef, various white people that work for him, and he has a white driver. And so it's almost as if he doesn't trust his own race to, work close by, be in his house and stuff. But yet he wants to sit there and talk about he feels hunted because white people are, because white people are just trying to kill black people. So, that kind of stuff. LeBron, that's why I could care less about watching any basketball this year.
Yeah, well, now you have this 17-year-old kid, I think, was killed. A black kid who was working on a Republican campaign for whoever's running against Nancy Pelosi, I believe. And they just caught the person that was responsible for it, allegedly responsible for it. We got to always say that. I'm always making sure I say allegedly or unconfirmed. Like last night, I was live, and I wasn't going to go live because Rochester was like, there was some stoner kid like just walking around the street, and they're doing like this sit-in and stuff, and they're letting them just like set up another Chaz chop kind of there. And all of a sudden, I get a message from my people in direct message saying, "Hey, did you see they found a woman allegedly stabbed to death, and there's a guy held up in the pump room at Cal Anderson Park in Seattle." That's the park, for those of you who have been watching. That's the park right outside of Chaz, then Chop, now called Flop. So apparently he barricaded himself in there. And Rich, I don't know if you watched it. There was a streamer last night. I don't even know her real name. I just knew her page's name, and I actually had to use her feed from what is that called? Instagram for the first time.
Okay.
And man, let me tell you, this was the most ignorant person making all kinds of conspiracies. If that guy got away, then he's definitely working with the cops. And so she spit out so many things. And then somebody came up to her and said, "Hey, I heard the guy's dead, and he drowned himself in a barrel full of chemicals." And I was thinking of Khashoggi.
Right. Yeah.
Guy.
Yeah.
Right away I thought of that. But it turned out, that's what happened. That he barricaded himself in this building, and his name was Travis. I'm not going to say his name. Everybody else was saying it last night. And he's been arrested like 34 times. He's like was some heroin addict and stuff. Motius sent it to me. Thank you. So he actually went in a barrel, like a 55 gallon tank full of water and like 60% bleach or something. And that's how they said he killed himself. So it was a mess, man. It was a mess.
Wow. Yeah. And by the way, he also said Sheriff Chuck Wright is the one who put out that challenge to LeBron.
Chuck Wright.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It's got out of hand, but I'm glad to see that at least now they're putting these bail numbers up to $1 million bails. I mean, at least they're making a statement.
Where was that? That's Rochester.
Yeah. Yep. $1 million bail. Matter of fact, I put that tweet out. Because they were talking about that Munoz guy, the one who came screaming off the steps. And did you see did you hear the comments they made? I got them right here. So I thought it was funny. So his mom, not funny. I won't say it's funny because it's a mother, and a mother loves her son. But she was talking about the fact that he had an episode. He was just incoherent and acting out. I called out, she said she called to find out what procedure. Basically, she said she called, whatever. But she said, I don't think that he would have hurt the officer even had he called up to him. Man, wow. I'm going to tell you something. Is the cop supposed to know, that he's schizophrenic? Is the cop supposed to know that he's off his medicine? And by the way, these people are advocating to send just social workers out to help with these mental cases. What do you think a social worker was going to do? And she talks about the fact that when I called the police and asked for help, I didn't know they were going to come and kill him. Well, guess what? I promise you, the officer didn't know he was going to come and kill him either. Really, he didn't have time to do anything except...
He ran away.
Defend himself, right. And the mother was talking about, they didn't have to shoot him in the heart. No, didn't have to, but thank God he did. And I don't think the cop was really picky about where he was hitting him at the time that he was shooting, trying to save his rear end. And it's funny that you happen to mention alleged, Jake. Are you telling me that you waited for the facts to come out? That you say alleged, waiting for facts to come out? Well,
always.
God knows you're one of the few people, because most of them don't. But
well, yeah, especially these people that have these big pages. They always want to be the first.
Yeah.
And I'd rather be the most correct than to be the first. Even when I know, just so you guys know, when they're typing in chat and they're saying the guy's name and they're saying what happened, I know that it's true, but I have not, confirmed it. So I can't say yes, even though I know the people that watch the show regularly wouldn't just type some crazy stuff, in chat without knowing. So I just gotta, err on the side of precaution.
Sure. Sure.
It's the way I've always been. So.
Yeah. Did you hear about that? Did you hear about that sports writer Chris Martin Palmer? That sports writes for I guess ESPN basketball guy. Yeah, I loved it. This dude is so funny. So he is. So he was the one. He was actually at some of the rallies, and he was the one talking about burn that shit down, burn it all down. He was like in the middle, tweeting that out during the.
So he was at protests or rallies?
Yeah, he was at the protest, and he was tweeting that out. But then they came to his neighborhood, right? And then he changes 180 degrees because all this crap is really good until it comes to your town or to your neighborhood or to your little subdivision. He said they just attacked our sister community down the street. It's a gated community. They tried to climb the gate. They had to beat them back. Then they destroyed our Starbucks and are now in front of my building. Get these animals TF out of my neighborhood. Go back to where you
wow.
Go back to where you came from. Tear up your own shit. He also, and before that, he also bragged about being at the riots and getting hit by tear gas. Dude, I just, man, that made I put a big smile on my face because talk about being red pilled all at once. There you go, dude. Yeah. So I hope everybody doesn't read anything that dude writes, but yeah.
Right. We've been saying that that all these people like, oh, it's just buildings, it's just businesses. Don't put that over people, which is their stupid talking point. Or oh, they're just marching through neighborhoods with bullhorns. They're exercising their right. Yeah. And I always said, well, give them your address and have them come and tear up your neighborhood and attack your mom with flashlights and laser pointers and scream at her while she's in her home. And then all of a sudden you'll be like, wow, these people are crazy. They're always so willing to say it's okay. It looks like we have a comedian in.
Right. I was going to say, Rodney, that was a good one. I like that. I like that joke. Rodney, everybody's going to be telling that one tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah. Criminal intent.
Criminal intent.
One thing I definitely, so everybody knows we have free speech here. We only block for, threats, and we only block for racist comments. One other thing I need to add, I will block you if you're funnier than me. So just be careful.
Back off there, Rodney. Don't.
It's okay, which is not actually that hard. So
no, yeah, and so fun. One of the things I thought was kind of karma too. I am so tired of. We were watching the replay of some of the football game. 6 black commercials in a row, whatever. They can do whatever they want. It's their marketing. They sell the advertising. But I did find it kind of funny that the viewership on the Sunday night game was down 28% from 28%. Well, I'm sorry, 28% on the ratings, 23% on the viewing. So that was kind of funny. And I'm glad to see that Ted Cruz is pushing that legislation where people can now, trying to get it pushed through. Who knows if he will? I doubt it. But trying to get it set up so that people can actually sue the town if the political appointees of that town fail to try to protect their businesses, their homes, and their life and their liberty, and they allow the riots to get out of hand. And so, that's a, what do they call in the law? I don't know. But anyway, I'm all for the peaceful protests, like the guy who took a crap in Pelosi's driveway. I thought that was pretty priceless.
Yeah.
Did you see that guy? Did you see? Yeah, that was great.
So also Bill Barr, I believe it was Bill Barr that made a comment that that they could possibly go after some of these leaders like Wheeler and the rest of the losers for sedition.
Yep.
For failing to, let's do it. I mean, they need to pay for what they did, telling cops to stand down, de Blasio, I mean, first of all, never trust a guy that drops a groundhog. I mean, if you can't even handle holding a groundhog, didn't he kill that thing?
I don't know.
Hoxatani Phil or whatever.
Yeah, that
limp. He dropped that thing. Somebody reminded me of that. She's like, she doesn't follow politics, and she was like, isn't that the guy that dropped the groundhog? I was like, oh my God, that was a while ago.
That was a while ago. So yeah. So
I don't know if you froze. Did you freeze? Yeah.
Did I freeze?
No, you're good now.
All right, good deal. So so the gist of it is this. If the people in Black Lives Matter want them to take a cause seriously, obviously it's got to be a peaceful protest. And second of all, police your own. If you want to find out how little Antifa actually cares about your cause, tell them to leave. See what reaction you get if you tell Antifa you don't want to match. Say, listen, we want a peaceful protest. You guys are just, the violence and all the stuff you're doing is just over the top. We want you gone. Then you're going to find out how little they actually care about you. And the only thing they care about is their own cause. All of a sudden, you will become the enemy, even though all you're wanting to do is tone down your protest and make it peaceful. So, yeah, you got to police it. You got to police it on your own. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, they don't even have a cause. Their whole thing is anarchy.
Yep.
They don't care what political party you are. They just want destruction of everything. I mean, these people are maniacs, and the Democrats think they're going to be able to put these people back in the bottle. Well, Ted Wheeler found out real quick. You might have thought that was cool to try to make Trump look bad. Next thing you know, they're in your lobby firing fireworks at your building.
That's right.
And he's like, whoa, these people are crazy. Yeah, they're crazy, and you hired them.
Yeah, and
allegedly.
Allegedly. Which I'll play this because Vixter was talking about the fact about the Soros thing. So I'm going to run that clip really quick. So here was Soros. Newt Gingrich. All he was trying to do was talk about the fact that Soros was backing a lot of these people, and Marie Barf or Harf, whatever you want to say, she was the one who was she like interrupts the guy and says, "We don't need to talk about George Soros." And Newt's like, why not? He's funding the money. So we're going to check this clip real quick.
Pro-criminal and overwhelmingly elected with George Soros's money, and they're a major cause of the violence we're seeing because they keep putting the violent criminals back on the street.
I'm not sure we need to bring George Soros into this.
I was going to say you get the last word, Speaker.
He paid for it. I mean, why can't we discuss the fact that millions of dollars he spent?
I agree with Melissa. George Soros doesn't need to be a part of this conversation.
Okay. So it's verboten.
All right, we're going to.
How awkward was that moment for that announcer to have this lady just interrupt and say, "We don't need to bring George Soros"? Why not? You don't. Now, you might not be able to be allow him to sit there and talk about what he thinks Soros's motives are, but he knows where the money's going. So if he's simply saying this guy's back in the campaigns with $100 million and electing these people that are pushing this agenda, he doesn't have First Amendment rights. You invited him on your show. He can't talk about it. I don't know. You track Soros. What do you think?
I mean, that's a touchy subject, the truth,
Yeah. Good point.
Truth, you can't have that on CNN and all the shows. How dare Newt try to come on there with truth? Like, what are you talking about? Are you crazy? What a rebel. Bro, they got their talking points, just like these news conferences, after the historical deal that President Trump did with, Arab Emirates and Israel and stuff. Not one question the next day was about that. It was all about COVID and this and that. Now, of course, they have President Trump, here we are, 2016 all over again. Don't forget, they tried the Russian thing again. Now here we are. Oh, another woman that President Trump allegedly raped. They just blew off Tara Reid because that involved Joe Biden. But now they're going to fire up this another woman who comes out and is saying that President Trump raped her or whatever. It's so old. When you have no policies and you got a guy who literally don't know where he is, probably right now he could be eating paint chips, and we don't recommend that. But, I mean, what else are you going to try? You're going to try the race card. That failed. You're going to try riots. You're going to try the Russian thing. Here we go now with that he raped. Now, what's next? His tax returns? I mean, his health condition? I mean, it's 2016 all over again.
Yeah, and that Amy Doris that you're talking about, one of the things that I have to say is that the same thing with Weinstein. And, if these people were violated, my heart goes out to them. But the one thing I will say is this. She makes it a point. Number one, her boyfriend, although she told other people, she said she told her mom, she told her sister, apparently never told her boyfriend about it all these years. And the fact that she saw Trump 3 times after that. And I'm like, man, it just doesn't ring right. It's like the Weinstein casting couch. Is this something you didn't want to happen? Is it something that now you're bitter about? Is it now your
Right.
political views have changed and now you want to call him to the carpet about it when you didn't, something you didn't care about? Did it even actually happen? But, the gist of it is, I'm not going to say too little too late, but man, it just, a couple months before the election, come on.
I mean, that's it. That's what it is. And we're not victim shaming.
No.
If any woman that is subject to this, it's horrible. It's horrible. And the person should pay for it. But it's always the timing, like the Kavanaugh thing. And then all of a sudden Tara Reid is making a claim and they don't want to know about it. But here comes this girl and this will be all over the news every single day. If you knew about it, all these allegations about Trump, where were you then? I mean, now you come out. I mean, what do they just dig people up? You know what I mean? It's crazy.
Yeah, literally dig people up. Which, by the way, that Maria Harf, I do want to say, was executive director of Progressive Service for America. So that one that shut down Newt Gingrich. So yeah, that's got sources, MO all over it. So.
Oh yeah, he's behind MoveOn.org.
Yeah.
The website and all of that. I mean, we know it is. It's just sad. Like, how many people I talk to and I tell them about, there's these riots going on for like 3 months straight, 100 nights, that they throw fireworks at the cops and blind them with laser pointers. And then the cops give them warnings and they fire tear gas and rubber bullets. And they're like, for real? This is a movie? I'm like, no, this is going on every night. And they're like, I never even heard anything about it. Nope. I'm like, wow, how controlled is our media that this could go on for 100 nights and normal people don't even know this is going on. Yep. I'm spending hours, people. Yep. What am I doing? Wasting my time? No, I'm just kidding.
No, you're not. You're actually providing a service because, I don't care if 5 people watch it and get woke on this stuff, but it is amazing that they cover it. It's like that we talk about the Israeli and Bahrain and United Arab Emirates, that accord. I was talking to people that I think are fairly intellectual, fairly professional. They had no idea it even happened because it got so little coverage and just amazing. Totally glossed over in the media. And this is something that was historic and absolutely nothing. It gets no credit for it. So like I said,
didn't even look to see if they covered it on, during the day, if any of the channels covered it. Probably not. If it was Obama, oh my God, it would have been on every channel. Forget it.
Well, I went to the number one news source, the Vantage Point on YouTube, and I think it was also on Total News. Yeah. Awesome.
Hey, real quick, my Islanders, I don't know how they're hanging on. Tampa Bay Lightning, I hate to say this, I'm an Islander fan. We're talking about hockey. They're such a better team, but Islanders are hanging on. So they have to win tonight and they have to win the next game. So if anybody could tell me the score right now, because I no longer have cable, so I can't watch it recorded. Remember, Rich, I used to freak out because I watch everything recorded and like,
don't tell me. Don't tell me. Yeah.
Like, do you see the Giants? I'm like, shut up. I'm hanging up. But anyway, if anybody could let me know the Islander Tampa Bay score, it's probably still going on. Last night, or the last time they played, went into double overtime. And Islanders pulled it off. And Varlamov, our goalie, you got to see the slide, man. It was epic. They're all celebrating. All of a sudden, you see it's tied 1-1 still. Wow, in the third. Thank you, Rocky. That's our roaming sports reporter, Rocky. There.
That's it.
He takes off running and he just does this belly slide right into the crowd and became a meme. And I actually said that it was me when Trump wins again.
That's
I'm going to do that. I'm going to.
That just reminds me of back when we used to play at the street in front of your house way back when. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So all right. I don't know if I don't know if you saw. Did you see that this story? And this is actually, it was a video clip on it. Talk Turkey, I think, is the name of the YouTube channel. If that's not it, I apologize. But he was playing all this old video on Biden about his plagiarism back in school, the claims that he made about being, number
all these
one.
Degrees.
Yeah, exactly. I got 3 degrees. I was top of my class and all that. So just for fun, I went ahead and I pulled up the story that he told, and I had never listened to the whole story. But I will play this, and it's really, really cute. So yeah, enjoy this memory lane and one big point.
Afghanistan and Iraq over 30 times. I pinned medals on, silver stars on soldiers up in the upper Konar Valley in the middle of a firestorm the poor guys have gone through. young Navy captain, Navy, up in the mountains in the Konar Valley in Afghanistan. One of his buddies got shot, fell down a ravine about 60 feet. 4-star general asked me whether I'd go up into the fob. Now everybody got concerned, the vice president going up in the middle of this, but we can lose a vice president. We can't lose many more of these kids. Not a joke. This guy climbed down a ravine, carried this guy up on his back under fire, and the general wanted me to pin the silver star on him. I got up there and stand. This is God's truth. My word is abiding. He stood at attention. I went to pin him. I said, sir, I don't want the damn thing. Do not pin it on me, sir. Please, sir. Do not do that. He died. He died.
The biggest point I want to make, the funniest part, quote, God's truth, my word as abiding. Okay?
Wow.
Yeah. And the funny thing about it is he got everything wrong. He got the time period wrong, the location, the heroic act, the type of medal, the military branch, the rank of the recipient, as well as his own role in the entire thing. He lied about each, and you know, you got preachers that will share these preacher stories. You can always tell when the preacher's telling the preacher story, but at least they don't say God's truth, my word as whatever.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I'm surprised he didn't burn on fire right there as he was speaking.
Yeah, I mean, especially because these people were looking back and like, oh my God. Yeah, like we can lose a vice president. Well, him we could have. Yeah, it wouldn't have made that much of a difference, you know, but come on.
And you're talking about Despacito Joe, right?
Do what?
Despacito Joe you're talking about.
Who?
Despacito. That's his new name, Despacito Joe.
Oh,
because he played that song. He was like, I got one thing to say.
Oh yeah, that one.
Which,
yeah,
translates to slowly. I mean, you can't make that up. Talk about pandering. That was his Hillary Clinton's hot sauce moment when they interviewed her and they're like, "What do you carry in your purse?" And she's like, "Hot sauce." They were like, "Stop, Hillary. We don't even carry hot sauce, and we're black." So it was crazy.
Yeah.
And then Trump tweets out somebody who replaced the song with "F the police." And it's like saying the N-word and stuff. I'm like, oh my God, Trump is crazy.
And Joe's dancing to it. Yeah, he's kind of bopping with it. Dude, he's lost it. He's lost it.
I actually going to start calling him Jose Biden because he's down with the Latinos.
Yeah.
I think Jose is for Joe, right?
Yeah, they should have said, name one other song. They could have done that when he had the interview with Cardi B. Name one other song that this chick's ever done.
Oh my God.
I wonder if he had that in his repertoire on the teleprompter.
I wonder who told him to do that, and if they're just maybe a Trump supporter, and they were like, "Yeah, play this song because we all know you as a creep and you're slow, so
they'll
play
love
this
it."
song about slowly creeping on somebody.
Oh yeah,
I mean, no way, can't be by accident.
Joe knows about that. So when's the live debate going to happen? I'm waiting for it. Did you?
Oh, I don't know. I know he put out an offer. Joe Rogan put out an offer to Trump and Biden to have some like 2-hour, 3-hour debate. And Trump's like, let's do it. And Biden was like, no, I didn't get that call. Sorry. I mean, the guy, did you see where he got busted? First he got busted when he was like, lift the monitor up a little bit. And they were like, no, that wasn't a monitor. He was talking about his notes. But then he held up a picture. Did you see that?
Yeah,
he held
and
up
the teleprompters in the glare.
Yeah, and in the reflection. I mean, they're probably like, oh, just go back to the basement. We're done with you. I mean, it's bad, bro. It's bad. If the country votes for this guy, I don't even know what to say. I mean, wow.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Oh, plus the fact that he said I've been there 30 times in that speech. I've been there 30. He'd only been there 21 after they fact checked his ass. I don't know, dude. It's getting scary. I mean, you want to say that Trump's going to cream him. Logic says Trump should cream him, but
one thing I know the media didn't pick up on, one thing that I can't believe they didn't pick up on was when he was talking about COVID, and he said, the only way I was able to stay in my house was because there was a black woman out there stocking shelves at a food store. Like, what a racist thing to say. Like, that's all black women are good for? It was to stock a shelf.
Wow.
Yeah, and we got to find that clip because nobody jumped on that. And then he tried to cover it up, and he's like, oh, well, of course, they're doctors and but yeah, I mean, what an elitist thing to say.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah. But you know what? Yeah, That's Joe. That's Joe. And he doesn't care about the black people. All he cares about is the black vote. So let's face it. So, all right. So I have 3 stories here to run through really quick. All right. And these are just, these are what's going on in college campuses, because now that we know that my man, Michael Isaacson, is talking about the fact that he's proud to be able to teach a class of future dead cops. Just some of the stuff that they're learning. So the University of Oklahoma Department of Political Science has removed a wall featuring its retired members. Why? Because they were all men and they happened to be all white. So they went ahead and took it down. Department will also consider a required course for the students within the department on race, civil rights, and inequality. This is in their political science thing. And
they did a whitewash.
Ba-doom. Yes, they did.
Bang! I'll be here all night. Well, at least a little longer.
Yeah, we got, 10 minutes? So, they got that. Second of all, now you tell me which one of these stories bugs you the most. Let's see. The other one is an Arizona State University student. Radio station has voted out its station manager simply because she said, always more. This is talking about Jacob Blake, okay? Jacob Blake, the guy who broke into, violently assaulted her, and then went back and after he went back there and was harassing her again, and got shot by the cops. She said on Twitter, "Always more to the story, folks. Please read this article to get the background of Jacob Blake's warrant. You'll be quite disgusted." And then she included in the tweet an article of New York Post which detailed the multiple sexual assault charges against Blake, including the one that led to the police encounter. So she got canned by the school.
Of course.
Simply for saying that. And it's like she said, I was told that as a journalist, I'm supposed to share information and seek the truth. And then as soon as I do, I get the most backlash in the word. So here's a journalist that was actually trying to say, hey guys, why don't you look at both sides before you make a judgment? She gets canned. So that's story number 2. Third story, this one, the marching band at Columbia was apparently founded on a basis of racism and cultural oppression. So the marching band said that its club structure was founded on this and misogyny and sexual harassment. They hope the band's dissolution. Yes, that's right. The Columbia band is going to go ahead and disband their marching band because they say it was built on a history. We also, and this is because they played Gone with the Wind in some of their marching things. They sent an apology. We also do not tolerate any racist, sexist, transphobic, otherwise harmful behavior. We absolutely do not condone personal theft. I don't know what that was about. We have fully apologized for any pain or injury the band has caused as we are working to atone for this pain.
Wow. It's just ridiculous. This whole cancel culture thing is out of control, bro.
Black faculty at Columbia demand the schools start unlearning racism. I don't know. Your kids are going there. If your kids are going there, yeah. So
help us. Yeah, and it's not even just colleges, as we talk about many times, the indoctrination, in high schools and now, grade schools, right down to somebody was telling me, I believe it was Georgia or Tennessee, where you're not allowed as a parent to watch what the teachers are teaching your kids on these virtual learning classes, and you have to sign something saying you won't watch. Yeah. I mean, are you kidding me? I just want to switch real quick to the fires. Like I said, prayers to those affected by the fires, man. It's so bad. And there's this whole big debate, like some are natural causes and some are caused by, some homeless people or just incompetent people, and some are allegedly caused by Antifa. I don't really know. I know some of them that have been arrested look like they belong to that. Right. I know that Steve on Freight Broker, shout out to him, Steve on Freight Broker. He's on Facebook, I believe. So I'm going to say yeet yeet for those who watch him. I know he's big on trying to prove the Antifa connection, and that's good. And he's getting a lot of pushback on it. And anybody that is in law enforcement that's trying to speak out, to point it out, is getting either put on administrative leave. Right. But my only thought is, I don't know if Steve's thinking of this. they may know there is a connection, but they're trying to downplay it because there's an investigation, and they don't want to tip somebody off where they're like, maybe they be a little more cautious because they know that they're onto them. So the only thing I would say to Steve is just think about that angle. Even though you're getting pushback and these officers are getting put on administrative leave for talking about it, there is an investigation. They may be well aware of it.
Right.
And the more people that point out facts or show videos could be jeopardizing an investigation. Just a thought.
No, that's a good thought. It's a good thought. So we got, Rocky, I like going with the wind too.
Oh, real quick. Steve, if anybody knows Steve on Freight Broker, tell him, because I always give him a shout out. If he wants to recommend somebody to watch at the end of his show, recommend me or anybody else, but not Woke. I heard him recommend Woke the other day, and they raise money for Black Lives Matter and all this crap. I'm like, don't recommend Woke, man. Please recommend me or anybody else that's on the right. But anyway.
He may be on the payroll. But so Contorta says Trump is probably the wrong person to be able to stop school brainwashing or even slow it down. I would say this. I don't know that this is not something that a person is going to do. I mean, this is a systematic thing that's happened over the years to children as they've been growing up and coming up through the grades, and is culminating now. That's why, parents are the ones who actually need to try to fight the brainwashing. Parents are the ones who need to actually step up and take an interest in what their kids are actually being taught. If your values you think are in conflict of what schools are teaching, have a conversation with your kids. There's probably been times maybe you haven't been available and your kid has wanted to talk to you and say, hey, listen, they talked about this in school. It didn't really jive, with what you've told me. What do you know about it? And actually talk to your kids about the history of certain things, because if they're rewriting, and everybody talks about revisionist history and it goes both ways. So you really have to take an active interest, and that starts now. Unfortunately, it's not just like high school and college. Now you need to actually get in these conversations with your kids when they're in kindergarten, when they're in grade school, moving on up, to try to have those conversations with them. That's what stops the brainwashing. That's where, as an engaged parent, you actually implement what you want your kids to actually have as a foundation for the rest of their lives. Because what they learn now and what they absorb and what they put back out from what they learn is going to shape their success or lack of it going forward. So yes, I will totally agree with you. Trump is probably not. And I didn't vote for Trump because I thought he was a virtue compass. I voted for him because I didn't want Hillary in office. But now that he's gotten in there, I'm pleased with the job that he's doing. He's got my vote coming up in the next 4 years. And I hope people don't take news clips and sound bites, and they actually do their research, their studying, and actually come up with an informed vote when they go into the election booth. Yeah.
Well, you're showing your age. You're talking about actually sitting down and talking to your kids. I think parents now text them, even though they're like right across from the kitchen table.
Yeah, no.
Which, if I ever tried to hold a phone, but when I was growing up, we didn't even have a phone at the dinner table. Yeah, I probably would have been eating that for dinner. But so another thing, I know you don't watch Steve from Freight Broker. I know you had said maybe on the payroll, but definitely not on the payroll of Woke. But one thing I will say, he on Tuesday he raised a lot of money for the cops. For the police, like fallen officers and stuff. So I know you don't watch him. So we talk about so many people that are like on the fence. They could be for Trump, they could be for the left. And when I'm telling you that he recommends Woke, you would think maybe but definitely not. I don't want this guy. I don't know if you've seen him. He can bench press a bus.
Gotcha.
So I don't want him to come, and he's in Florida like me. I don't want him knocking on my door.
And I will say this: I do not follow social media stuff like Jake does. So if you,
it's all good, man.
Yeah, so
it's all good. Back in my day, I would have took him out. Oh, no, just kidding. On the other thing, the other thing is just if anybody's struggling right now through all this, take a break, man. Turn it off. And I say that at the jeopardy of us, having viewers, but I don't care. A lot of people reach out to me and are like, I can't take any more of this. In chat, they'll write, I got to get out of here. I can't listen to this. Take breaks, man. And if you're hurting, reach out to me or Rich. on our Twitter. Rich is 1600 Reasons Why. I'm just Jake357 on Twitter. You're never alone, man. There's so many people that care about you. Reach out. My DMs are open, and I read 1 out of 10 of them. So
yeah, that's good.
Try to read everyone.
When I learn how to read, I will read them. Trust me. And
yes,
I would like to say, Genuine71 talks about never dreamed I'd do this, but homeschool here, no way I'd ever send them back. Well, I will confess to having done that. It was an incredible experience. And all the way around. And I will say, this may be an awakening for parents now that their kids are home, and to actually engage with them. I think a lot more parents will eventually be going the homeschool route, because number one, they're going to have to get a taste of it. And a lot of parents that were scared of the daunting task of teaching your kids. And I will say this about homeschooling. It's one of those things where your kids actually learn how to teach themselves. And as you have kids going back, and they may be going back 1 week out of 3, and, they're trying to take their honors courses or just regular courses, it's one of those things. And so that curriculum that teaches them to teach themselves is going to be beneficial for them down the road. So yeah, if you need any advice or you have any questions about it, Genuine, as you step into this thing, or anybody does, hey, shoot me a message. Let me know, because as a father who was antsy about this, it paid off dividends, and it's just been a super positive experience. I'm
on a
all
personal
for that.
note, Rich and his wife have 2 amazing children, a boy and a girl, and they homeschooled, and what an amazing job. They're such great kids. And the only thing I argued with Rich a lot about was I didn't understand how having them wash your cars and shine up the Porsche and stuff had anything to do with schooling. But
responsibility. You got to teach them responsibility. You got to teach them how to do a job, not only right the first time, but right the second, third, fourth, and fifth time.
No, I know, but at 4, come on, at 4.
Yeah. You know what? Never too early to start to learn responsibility.
Right. You're like, well, they could reach the rims.
Stand on each other's shoulders, get the top. They're low cars. They don't sit up that high. It's not that hard.
Exactly.
So, but yeah, so you wasted another evening. We appreciate it, because we don't feel we wasted it being with you guys. So thank you very much for watching. I don't have anything else, Jake. I don't know if you do.
Nope. I'm good to go, and I'm got to make another drink. I'm out of my Captain and Coke, and God bless my beautiful people here. Make sure you follow and share and like and subscribe and ring the bell, the notifications. You'll watch Rich's outro. I think that thing's still working, right?
Yeah, it hasn't yet worked really smoothly, but we'll give it another shot. Try to make it. It looks the same as the intro. It just says goodbye at the end and God bless. And that we'll see you next week, which we will. And you guys take care of yourself.
you